Guys, we stayed at our favorite little motel last night, and after a terrible night's sleep, we're up and ready to go tackle it. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's absolutely beautiful. It's like 70 something degrees, and hopefully we'll be able to get some work done today. How was that ride? I wish I could just convey to you how muddy it really is. You can see so much on the camera, but it is like, I'm just really frustrated. So frustrated I have to laugh about it. And then of course I get all the way up here and the excavator, the battery's dead again. I don't know. I'm gonna yell at myself on camera at another time. There's just no sense in being negative. But the bottom line is, like I told you a little earlier, I'm really bad at planning. I just do stuff on the spur of the moment. Everything is done on the spur of the moment, and I pay the price all along for it. And you'd think by this stage of my life I would have figured this out. I doubt it'll ever change, but anyways, I tell you that because I left the excavator batteries in all winter. They went flat, and now they need a deep charge, which means being up here, I need to run the generator basically all day long to trickle charge these things back up to the top. Otherwise, I'm gonna hope they're not shot because they're 200, 250 bucks a piece. Anyways, I gotta jump it with my jumper pack. So here goes. I'd like to recommend this DSR 4400 12 and 24 volt Pro Series jumper pack. This thing will jump anything, and it will do it all day long. Well, the batteries were only registering at 22 volts, and it's a 24 volt system. That's just not enough to turn it over. I made sure to prime the fuel filter to make sure that there's fuel in the line. Hopefully it's enough. Right now my jumper pack is putting out 26 volts. That should be more than plenty to turn this thing over. Normally you just touch this thing, touch the key on this thing, and it'll turn right over, but it's been sitting for a few weeks and it's not sitting level. So we lost our prime. I primed it up, and in the time that it took me to go down and get the jumper pack to come back up here, I guess some of the fuel just settled out, but it's running now, and it's going to be running for the rest of the day. guys, I got a really decent day's work today. Half a day's work, actually. Just letting the turbo and the excavator cool off a little while I walk back up, take a look at what I did, and lock the cabin, grab my four-wheeler, and go back to the truck to a very, very patient Julie and two kids. Alright, so I walk up the driveway, the road, or what will become a real driveway one of these days. And you can see up here, I really opened it up quite a bit. That wasn't really in the plan, but then again, I think we already discussed that I don't really plan much. So there's a lot of material here. I just got to tell you, I wish you guys could be here to smell what I smell. I feel like I'm in Mesopotamia right now. This is so fertile. It smells like I'm on a dairy farm. And that's because there's so much surface water up here, and it's been unchanneled for, well, forever, probably. And I was finding myself digging through 2 to 2.5 feet of topsoil. This is the bottom of the drainage swale that I cut. This is where it all empties and then naturally trickles toward the road. And if you go back in some of the older videos, you'll see what it used to look like a couple of hours before now, before the time that I'm filming this. And it's not perfect, but it's definitely roughed in well enough. The drainage is roughed in well enough to start drying this area out. You can see a trickle. That's a pretty consistent little creek there that empties from there. I mean, it's year-round at different speeds. And I have to guess that might actually be a spring. I haven't chased it, so I don't know. Then I'm running right up along here, along the side of what used to be the driveway, and you know, just feeling my way through the elevations. Really, you're not going to see any grade stakes here. That wouldn't be too redneck, would it? And it's just, like I said, it's just really sloppy right now. But you can see where we've made a lot of progress, and I expect all of this area here will be much more dried out by the next time I get here. Continue along up here. This is still part of the same swale that I cut along the high side of the road. And I decided I was going to channel the water this way because this is the higher little creek which runs year-round, obviously. I'd rather dump it into this swale than run it across the road here. And you may recall, I'm going to back up a little bit, at least 2 times that we've gotten stuck. We got stuck right here. This is exactly where we got stuck, where I had this little brook cutting across the road. And eventually, well, actually that's not true. I was about to say eventually we're going to have this cut across the road, but that's not true anymore. We're draining all this high side water where you saw toward the end, and toward the bottom we're changing everything around. I just didn't have enough time today. This is really dry right here, and I'm totally happy with this. So we keep walking up here. Forgive me, I'm using my GoPro and I'm just holding it in my hand, and GoPro is supposed to be such a great camera, but there's nothing as simple as a preview. Can you imagine that? Imagine how ridiculous that is for $300 or $400. And then here we are at the bottom of the building site. You can see the little cabin up there. Boy, is this a mess. It's all overgrown. Well, toward the bottom it's overgrown, and it's all washed out on the hill. And this here is all overgrown. There's a lot of water up here. We need to deal with that. The other side of the property over here has some water feed. I gotta trace that back, but that's not getting in my way right now. What's getting in my way is the inability to get to the cabin. Even in spring conditions, winter conditions, doesn't really matter what the conditions are, I can't get there. So I've got the four-wheeler here, but you may have noticed I'm sporting a little belly because, well, life got too busy and I quit going to the gym. And I don't know what it is. I really think that I may be taking on too much. Let me spin this around to look at me. I think I'm taking on too much. I want to shout out to Mike Collinson. He's out in France, and he's a great guy. Michael, thank you for all your feedback and your comments, and I really look up to you and admire you, and thanks for suggesting that I may be taking on too much. Actually, I don't even know if you were suggesting that I was, but you made a comment along the lines of something I've learned over the years is taking on too much, or something. I can't remember exactly how it went, but it spoke to me. And so thank you for that. I'm in the cabin here. And it's no excuse for me to be out of breath. It's really not that far of a walk. But I don't know what I'm going to do. I may just start paring things down a little bit. I don't know. Wouldn't mind your feedback on that. We want to take on the world. Just because we have the ability and the ambition doesn't mean we have the time, the resources, and whatever else is necessary to make things happen. Let's lock this place up. I'm feeling relatively talkative today, sorry, a little chatty. I'm having a hard time doing this one-handed while I'm holding the camera. Put the camera in my mouth. That'll work. That will work. I don't know what you're looking at right now. You could be looking at a lock, my thumb. Sorry about that. Anyways, this is what I really want to do up here. This is the stuff I want to do. This is awesome. I always come up here and at first I'm overwhelmed and somewhat defeated, and then I start chipping away at it. It's just like cleaning my shop. I look at it, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm never going to be able to finish this. Start just chipping away. Big buildings are made from little bricks, and all the bricks are the same size. You just take little bites and stack one little brick on top of each other, and before you know it, it's done. And that's where we're at right now. Is Julie was kind enough to just kind of let me be alone with my excavator for a while, and I got a ton done in just a couple hours. I'll flip the camera back around. But anyways, this was a really productive and gratifying trip. I almost don't want to leave. But even if I had more time, there are a couple of issues now that I need to address. Actually, I lost 2 teeth on the excavator. I lost one a while ago, and I've just decided to keep using it because I'm not really digging into ledge. And I know it's not good practice to wear the shank down, and I get that. But I needed to get some work done. Well, I lost another one today and I couldn't find it. The bucket absolutely needs to be rebushed and pinned. And I have an arrangement with a fellow who's going to be coming up next week, so I'm going to have to come back and meet him up here. He's going to repin and bush. In the meanwhile, I'm going to order some teeth, get the teeth, and get this thing back up to shape. It also needs a greasing like you wouldn't believe. But most concerning to me is the turbo is starting to make a little tiny bit of a whistle, and the reason is there's a small hole in the exhaust. And when there's a hole in the exhaust, there is a relief of back pressure, and the back pressure relief causes the turbo to function inappropriately. And this turbo costs like $4,000, and that ain't happening. I cannot afford or allow this to fail. So I need to mitigate that immediately, and that's why I'm letting the machine cool down for as long as I am. Well, listen guys, this is all I've got for you this time. Thank you so much for taking the time. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this video right now, whether I'm going to do it one long video or a bunch of segments, but thank you for taking the time to watch. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next video. As always, we appreciate your comments, feedback, suggestions, constructive criticism, and if you like this video, thumbs up. And if you're not with us already, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to get updates and find out when we put new videos out. We'd love to have you along for the adventure. See you on the next video, guys.